Hello, I'm Jancie Oliva, President and Publisher of ISE Magazine, and I'm here with John Hofstetter, Vice President, Sales and Global Communication Markets with PLP. And John, we're so glad you're with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Now, PLP just did an ISE podcast called Why Future Proofing Should Be One of Your Primary Goals when Deploying Your Broadband Network, which I really enjoyed. How does that align with PLP's company philosophy?
Yeah, that's a great question, Janice. PLP's been in business since 1947. The company was founded right after World War II. And, the core products at that point were centered around the power utility industry. What the company's done since that time is an excellent job of just basic things, listening to our customers. The customers are the voice of what they need in terms of the technology and what they need in terms of cost competitive solutions to be successful. So I think if there's one thing that we've done very successfully along the way for 70 plus years is listening to our customers and anticipating then what their needs are going to be and tie those two important things together to bring the customers what they require to be competitive and ultimately be competitive to the subscribers along the way and to provide network reliability, which is key today.
Most definitely is. That is absolutely true, especially during these times. We've discovered reliability more than ever is so important. So next question I have here is, do PLP's patents relate to those 3 points that you made in your first answer?
They really do. Our tagline has always been, we want to make it easier to do business with us. So I think that's twofold. You have the transactions piece that's important to do business with, but as important, if not more importantly today, is how do we make it easier to do business with us in terms of our products out in the field with the, and that starts with the network engineers, designing cost-effective networks and solutions, and then to the final installers that are using PLP's products. So we really work hard to put together design platforms that provide, secure fiber connectivity solutions, both in the fiber closure side of our business and in the aerial construction hardware. So it's a really a wide-ranging thing, but that's what we're focused on. And patents do lead to those situations.
Yes, and that's great that you have those patents in place. It's nice, and again, your history, shows that being around as long as you have. Since we're talking about broadband, what other services does PLP offer that would be beneficial to our readers or viewers?
Boy, it's a really long list. I'll try to be concise around that. But when PLP entered into the telecommunication market, shortly, maybe about 15, 20 years after the company was founded, we brought on a product line that was really best in class for copper connectivity. That technology that was in what we call our stainless steel splice case for copper applications was really the cornerstone and the foundation that led us into the fiber connectivity world. So when we first started designing products for the fiber piece of the network, our closures tended to be more high capacity, if you will. They were, the industry back in the 90s and into 2000s, the fiber counts we were building the backbone of the infrastructure. So our strengths were there, but we had to migrate away from that as the network started to migrate further to the edge of the network. So if you look at today's platform today or product offering today, it's a lot of strength around the high capacity closures, products like the Coyote HD closure for 5G applications. It's firmly in place and going to be very, very good for a lot of different applications. But as important, we have fantastic products now that are leading us into the edge of the network. Drop termination closures, service termination point closures, things that are vitally important to the carriers for the edge of the network, the demarcation point. That product line now is even extended indoors. We have fantastic products called under the brand name Coyote, but Access Solutions, which is an extensive array of wall and rack mount cabinets for the enterprise solution. So we've always been really strong in the outside plant world. And we've gotten much stronger at the edge of the network, and now we've got some strengths indoors as well. So those are the balances that we're doing. Beyond the fiber connectivity piece, we invented aerial construction hardware for ADSS and OPGW cables. So ADSS hardware is a really big thing. We started developing those cable types and actually developed standards to test those cables in our engineering lab in 1985. That's how far back that goes. So we have really a nice, strong portfolio and a huge database of history and field performance in the aerial construction side as well. And then PLP moves on both here locally in the U.S., abroad in other categories, solar products. Our strength in the transmission and distribution go back to the 1940s, of course. And then something more recent that I'd like to just make a quick comment on is our inspection services group. That's a new venture for PLP where we're actually going out and doing line inspections using drone technology and bringing all that data back and doing comprehensive report outs to the utility companies that both take what we saw in the field and what we know in the laboratory from 1947 and marry that together and give them solid recommendations on what their network and the grid looks like today. So those are all the things kind of we're working on simultaneously today.
That is fantastic. I love that you're utilizing the technology of the drones to do inspections. That is just great, and especially with the utility market. But obviously we tie into that in the ICT arena. But that's just great. Okay, so with that, do you guys also offer training and services support for your products?
Yeah, we have. I mean, that kind of goes back to the very first comment that we had together is, what differentiates PLP and what's next. But the training is something that we feel that's very important in listening to the customer. So, there's obviously different voices of the customer along the way, but our products at the end of the day are out in the field and they, they need to be built for a lot of longevity, for years and years, decades of longevity. But more importantly, they need to work well for the craft person that's putting, our products together and installing our products. So the linemen and the fiber splicers and things of that sort. So the training is encouraged at the very early stages. The training actually starts with discussions with network engineers on why you would choose a certain preformed product to place into your network, and then just carries on through the organization all the way to the final installation. So we do offer free on-site installation services. We'll train contractors, we'll train the utilities, craft people, and all that along the way for free. And that's how we learn. That's the voice of the customer too. So it's a very, very important part of how we operate and how we want to continue to invest in our customers.
Fantastic. I love that. That's how you learn with the voices of your customers. That's
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck with all of your new ventures. I'm very excited to see the future of PLP.
Okay. Well, thank you, Janice, for the invitation. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now.